Hello. Hold on.
Oh, look at it. She bought that. Period.
What's the craziest conspiracy theory you think about, but you wouldn't tell nobody?
Conspiracy theory.
Yeah.
You got one type there? Craziest conspiracy theory. Pizzagate. They all did that shit. They got the island. Yeah. Bill Gates. Goddamn. The first lady. Goddamn the Trump. Yeah. All of them. They tapped in.
Hey, Mike, what's your worst breakup story?
My worst breakup story? I caught him in bed cheating. I whooped that.
Oh man. That's sad now. All right, next question. What's heavier, a pound of pillows or a pound of pennies?
A pound of pennies.
Pound of pennies. This is the last one.
He can't even say it. He's getting down.
I'm not going to answer that question.
Yo, welcome to the New Normal Podcast. I want to tell everybody thank y'all for tuning in. Today, if y'all see the title, it says, I am not voting. The reasons why I'm not voting, Trump or Kamala, can y'all convince me to get my ass up and go to the polls? Now, I'm going to tell y'all, if I was to vote, it would be for Trump, hands down. But I still think this shit is rigged. And the reason I'm talking about it, I'm going to show y'all why I think this rigged with the videos that we're going to play. What up, J Mac? Y'all make sure y'all go check out the Chill Out J podcast. She says she's free during the day now. So now I get to invite her so she can come on here and we can cut up and act a fool on the New Normal Podcast. Hey, y'all make sure y'all share the video. Make sure you like the video. Make sure you subscribe to the channel. We on all social media platforms. For all the people that have been sending me super chats and cash apps, I want to tell y'all thank y'all so much. I really appreciate it. If you want to support the channel, the cash app will be at the bottom of the screen shortly. And we're going to start off with Joe Rogan. We're going to talk about how Candace Owens feels slighted by Shannon Sharp for inviting Kamala Harris on his podcast, and he questioned her black card. We're going to talk about all the first-time voters. I've never seen this many videos of adults that look older than me saying, this is my first time voting. What could possibly have these people getting out and voting for the first time? We're going to also talk about CNN. Oh man, I might even put it on there. How maybe I put it on there. How the Supreme Court, yeah, I put it on there. Supreme Court, maybe I did. Hold on, y'all. How the Supreme Court ruled, I think in Virginia, that they cannot let illegals vote in this election, which is crazy to say the least, because you would think everybody knows illegals should not be voting in our elections. Hold on, let me pause this real quick and do this real quick. Hold on. Cool. Can y'all hear me now? Can y'all hear me out there? So the first video we're going to talk about Joe Rogan and his video with Donald Trump. The why we're talking about this video is because they suppressed his video. This man had 34 million views. Listen to me. 34 million views in 2 days. This video was going to break all kinds of records. 34 million views in 2 days. So much so that Elon Musk had to go on YouTube and search engines like Google to see if the podcast came up. It's not trending anywhere. Now you got to question, why is that? It was no profanity in it. Maybe one cuss word in the whole podcast. They didn't play anybody else's videos because Joe was saying during the podcast that they didn't want to get copyrighted or give them any excuses to take down his video. This is what's happening right now. So let's start the video. Oh, I hate when my computer be acting weird sometimes, y'all. Let's start the video. Oh, hold on. I forgot to share it on my page. Dang. I was a little excited for y'all today.
Something happened. I'm sure it was a mistake at YouTube where you couldn't search for it.
Yeah.
I'm sure it was a mistake.
It has
There's
to be a
no way
mistake,
that was
Joe.
on purpose. And so if you Googled Rogan Trump,
They got to Joe. They
you
got to Joe.
could
He's
only
apologizing.
you could only get clips. You couldn't watch the whole
Yeah,
episode. You
yeah.
couldn't find it.
Yeah.
And so we reached out to them a couple of times and they fixed it to their credit. So now you can find it.
So this is part of the reason why I say they got this thing rigged up really, really good. For them to let Kamala go on a tour of babbling and a script that she always uses and nobody knows her answers or policies or what she actually thinks is crazy, to say the least. I think with all the immigrants being able to, the illegals being able to vote, burning ballot boxes, voter suppression. I mean, like suppressing people's videos like Joe Rogan and Donald Trump. Like you're suppressing the candidate to be, president, which is crazy and it's scary to say the least. Did y'all see that they had reports of the Inflation Reduction Act, how they had all of those, they're talking about all of those terrorist groups that were getting funded in that bill. I'm gonna do that. I'm probably gonna do that tomorrow if I get some time. But they were talking about it's like 5 or 6 groups that are getting funded through the Inflation Reduction Act, and those people are trying to get paid out just in case they lose to start inciting riots and stuff like this. This is what they claiming is going to happen. I've been seeing a lot of people buzzing about it. Dan Bongino, Ben Shapiro, Alex Jones. I've been seeing a lot of people, and I know I'm not supposed to say Alex Jones' name on YouTube or anywhere because he's a third rail, but I'm just gonna let that be known. This is the reasons why I'm saying, like, it's some shit in the game somewhere.
Good. But so in the meantime, Elon was furious. And so Elon contacted Daniel Ek at Spotify and they put it on X as well. So now it's on X. The full so now it has way more views. Because I think on Elon's alone, what is it on Elon's alone? Because Elon posted it and I posted it. This morning, I posted it last night. I woke up, it was like 6.5 million views on mine and 8+ million on his. So it's just, you can't suppress shit. It doesn't work.
Well, you can't suppress it because even when you was talking about later on in the video, y'all gonna see you can't suppress certain things where it doesn't have the reach or the organic reach that it does. I'm gonna say this. Joe Rogan had 34 million views with Donald Trump. Listen to me, 34 million views with Donald Trump in 2 days. Kamala has an interview with Shannon Sharp. And I think the last time I looked at it was last night. It was at 1.2 million views. Everybody that I've been seeing and everybody's been on my live saying they voting for Trump, is very few people that I know that said they voting for Kamala. Even the first time, listen to me, the first time the people that said they voting for their first time are voting for Trump. It's like weirdo. It's like weirdo ass people that's really voting for that side over there. Like we have DL Hughley out here speaking, and his daughter. He told us on Sway in the Morning he didn't even want to believe his daughter that got raped because the guy that supposedly had did it, he liked him. And I ain't talking about liked him in the sexual manner. Just he liked him as a guy.
This is the internet. This is 2024. People are going to realize what you're doing. If you try to make it so that something can't come up in a search engine because it's too popular, first of all, if that's not trending, you tell me what the fuck is.
Whoa.
Okay, so what's it at now? 8.6 million on mine, and what's it on Elon's? Because he has a lot more people on his than me. So that's just from last night. So, but you can't fucking suppress shit anymore. Like when you're saying that's why is that not in the trending? You have a trending thing. What's your trending thing really then? If one show has 36 million downloads in 2 days, like that
is insane. That is insane. I have not seen anything that Kamala has touched, breathed on, stepped foot in, podcast that did anything like that. Not even close. Not even past 2 million. I have not seen that yet. You're not going to make me believe that this woman is garnering this type of attention and going to get this many people out to vote. I'm just not going to believe it.
That's not trending? Like, what's trending for you? Mr. Beast? Like, he gets a little more than that, but
12 million for Elon.
So he's at 12. So it's
20 million total.
It hit 20 million in a day just on X. And that's just us. There's a ton of clips. There's a ton of other accounts that have done it illegally, where they've taken the episode, the full episode, and uploaded it.
Right.
So who knows how many views those have?
So Joe, can I just check? Why do you say you're certain it was just a mistake?
It's just a mistake. I'm being sarcastic.
Oh, I didn't get that. Turn to Mr. Sarcasm. Okay.
Yeah, it's like there's no way it was a mistake. That's too convenient. But it could have been like some rogue engineer. You know, there's a lot of people that are working.
And you know what's crazy? Nikki 03 say vote Trump. Y'all hear me out there? Say vote Trump. Y'all put in the comment section what y'all vote. I'm trying to get a temperature check. Is we in this comment section all voting for Trump except for the few widows we had yesterday?
Behind the scenes.
So you think they suppressed? That is so dumb, though.
But there's a video. You could watch the video of people searching for it.
I did
find it.
Okay, it wasn't showing up.
You
for
couldn't
me.
find it.
No.
I couldn't find it. And then it got to the point where you only had to write. You had to write Joe Rogan. They fixed it a little, where you write Joe Rogan Trump interview, and then it would come up. But if you just wrote Rogan Trump, only you get the clips.
Do you think it kind of worked for the Hunter Biden laptop story? What they did and their tactics around.
Do you think companies suppressing interviews like this would be considered election interference? Put a 1 in the chat if you think this is election interference. Put a 2 in the chat if you don't think this is election interference. And also make sure y'all like the video, share the video, and make sure y'all follow me. It's the New Normal Podcast. But put on there, do you think this is election interference or not? Put a 1 in the chat, yes. 2 in the chat, no.
Around it. Now, obviously, it came out later and it was a big scandal, but at the time, it kind of worked.
Yeah.
Do you think they might have thought, well, you know, it kind of worked?
Robert O'Neill said, Robert O'Neill said, Rogan will lose credibility after Trump is gone. Never align yourself with negative leaders. They drag you down. Why do you feel that way? Because what if Trump gets in there and does everything that he says? It goes seamlessly. You don't think he would gain credibility? Also, I don't know if you watched the full interview. Trump said basically you should endorse me, but Joe, he didn't even say anything. He just let Donald Trump keep talking. And Donald Trump said, yeah, you don't seem like a Kamala person. You don't seem like a Kamala person. You seem more like a Khabib person, but you definitely not a Kamala person. But Joe didn't even endorse him or anything. He said he wants to talk to Trump and he wants to talk to Kamala. And since she hasn't been on there yet, maybe she'll come. Who knows? It took 2 or 3 days. What we got? About 4 days before the election. She might pop up. So it would be dumb for him to endorse Trump right now if he still wants to get her on his show. Ms. Lee put a 1 in there. So that is for her. That is election interference.
But for this, therefore, we should try it for this.
I think they're desperate because they had no idea it was going to be that popular, and it's a runaway train, and they hate it because ideologically they're opposed to the idea of him being more popular. It's just like what we were talking about before, the left wing being in control of these massive media distribution companies like you.
So come on, let's be real. Trump is entertaining, and he know he winning, right? I think most people know that they winning. Even when you look at the migrant caravans coming from South America, because they say they think Trump is going to win. The election, how they're trying to suppress a lot of the voting, not allowing certain people into voting facilities. But I'm gonna say this: Trump is entertaining. Joe Biden got up here and called people, Trump voters, supporters, garbage. What Donald Trump going to do? Go get in the garbage truck and do an interview, do a whole rally with his reflection vest on. Me and Donald Trump literally had to have the same swag on my day-to-day life. I wear it all day long, and I got to see my president put one on too. Who could have thought of that? Tomorrow's the last day for early voting in Texas. Nikki, you already voted. And I hope you've been taking care of that man, like you said.
YouTube or like Facebook. They're massive companies. They have so much influence on everything. And they didn't like that this one was slipping away. And so they did something. And Jamie showed me like the image of the interactions. Like when they did that, it dropped off a cliff because people couldn't find it. So they just gave up, or they just watched the clips. So you see like how much downloads it's getting, and then it just.
What about that claim about the reporting taking it down?
What's that? Yeah, that could be it too, right? They were saying that if you mass report something enough. So what was the actual claim? Like somebody posted, I sent it to you, right?
Basically what you're about to say, if you mass report something enough, it might have just taken it out of the search, because it wasn't like they didn't delete the video from our channel or anything.
Right. So that could be
find it in the search.
And that could be possible too. It could have been a bunch of haters seeing Donald Trump video going up, and they could have just flagged it where they took it out of the algorithm. But, and this is why I hate TikTok. TikTok, if you say something wrong or somebody doesn't like you, they can get enough people to come flag your channel, and you could lose your channel on TikTok. Especially if you are a man. If you are a man on TikTok and you have like red pill ideology or thought process, and you try to have these spaces and these lives where women get triggered, trust me, buddy, you're not going to be on TikTok long, or you're not going to be able to build long on TikTok, because TikTok allows anybody to flag your channel. They don't go and do any research. They don't go and watch what you were saying. They don't do anything. If it's a bunch of people come flag it, you out of there. And I think YouTube is a bigger enough company to where they should have some type of guardrails up, to where even if a bunch of people come and flag your channel, if it's not nothing that goes against YouTube guidelines, it should stay up. If it's not profane or whatever the YouTube guidelines talking about, sex, a bunch of sexual innuendos, hate speech, or any of those things, YouTube should allow it. But we already know these big companies and corporations are pulling for that side of the aisle because they know Diddy got arrested not too long ago.
That could be it. But that's also the same thing, right? Because it's people that are on the left that are mass reporting something to try to silence it, rather than just letting people do it. So maybe it's not the company itself, but it's the people that are attached to the ideology that the company follows.
So I'm going to say this. Vote to the end the useless wars. Vote to end the useless wars, lawfare, weaponizations, open border policies, surveillance, and censorship. Fred, those are good reasons to make me vote. Somebody got to call in today and actually have a conversation with me. If you see the call-in number, y'all need to convince me to vote. Because I honestly do think Trump has the best stuff as far as like money in my pocket. I don't know if those are going to be executive orders or those things have to go through Congress or not, and bills have to be passed. See, that's the only thing about when presidents make these promises. A lot of stuff has to have so many checks and balances, and you have to have the House and the Senate and all of this stuff to get certain bills to pass to actually do the things that you say you're going to do. And I don't know why we have so many people out here, judges, attorney generals, DAs, all of these people in these states that are okay with all of these illegals in the swing states voting. You got to ask yourself, why are they not making people show voter ID? Why aren't they making people show, their ID, identification? Why aren't they doing that? It's because they want to cheat. And it is rigged. And we can't say that. We're not supposed to say that. We sound crazy or loony if we go with the it's rigged idea of things. But let's be real. Nobody in their right mind is voting for Kamala. I'm sorry. It's just not happening. Then I'm so tired of Mark Cuban. Mark Cuban is another that I'm tired of right now. Hold on, I'm trying to find that Black Summit shit. That's them right there. Like, I got so many videos. Have y'all seen this weirdo video right here? I've been watching for a few minutes now, and it seems that everything you've been saying aligns with Trump plans. I think you're convinced. Yeah, I already said that I'm going to vote for Trump if I vote, right? But the thing is can y'all convince me to get up and go vote? I want y'all to look at this weirdo shit right here. Look at it. Look at this very quick. Now, Joe, Sleepy Joe, Creepy Joe, in this point. Do y'all see this weirdo stuff? Like, this is the stuff I see on X. Like, I'm late to Twitter X, but I promise y'all, it is a gold mine of just all the stuff you need to see. This is literally our president right now out here chewing on babies' feet like this is cool. Now you already have a bad reputation of being weird around little girls. You already got videos of you sniffing their hair and touching on their breasts when they taking pictures with you and stuff like this. And you think this is cool to do. And the thing about it is parents are allowing. Thank you for the super chat. Thank you. Oh, the gas. Oh, hey, Judge O'Brien said that. Hey, somebody just sent me gas money. Here's gas money. I'll send 50 more to you, your Cash App, if you vote. LOL, I need that voter sticker. You know what? $49.99. Oh my God. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. Forsaken Archives. Am I saying it right? It's a Forsaken Archives. I'll make sure I say that correctly. Thank you for that. But like I was saying, do y'all see our president that we elected? I didn't vote. I'm gonna lie to y'all. My first time voting was 2008. My first time voting was 2008. Y'all know who I voted for in 2008. This is when I was pro-black on that plantation. Y'all should know who I voted for. Put in the comment section if you know who I voted for in 2008. Then I'm ashamed to admit that my only time voting is for this person that did absolutely nothing. Y'all put in the comment section what y'all think. Me too. I voted for Obama twice. I voted for Obama, and every time I see him, especially when he went to go speak to those black men, I get pissed off. Because, bro, why are you talking to us like we slow and we don't know who we need to vote for? Huh? Why are you doing that? Hold on. I'm trying to find my video. Oh, here it is. Yeah, I want to play right here. So our next video is this right here. We're going to talk about the Supreme Court ruling that it is illegal to have illegals voting, and they got to get purged from the voter rolls.
I'm incredibly pleased with the decision today, and the Supreme Court reacted quickly. I want to thank our Attorney General, Jason Miyares, and his team's amazing work. And this is a victory for common sense. I'm incredibly pleased with the decision today, and the Supreme Court reacted quickly. I want to thank our Attorney General, Jason Miyares, and his team's amazing work. And this is a victory for common sense. I'm incredibly pleased with.
So as you can see, people are pushing for 2020. I would have voted for Kanye, but he was on the ballot, so I voted for Trump. Isn't that stupid? Tell California that. Yeah, it's going to be a lot of bullshit. And you know what's crazy? When you give somebody an inch, they take a mile. I'm gonna say this again. When you give somebody an inch, they take a mile. So when it came to the 2020 elections, we all understood that it was going to take a little bit longer to tally votes because of mail-in voting, COVID, and all of that hoopla that was going on at the time. Now we have a bunch of states still saying it's going to take 10 to 13 days to count the ballots after the election. When I voted in 2008, when I seen the election in 2012, and when I seen the election in 2016, we knew that the next morning who was our next president. When you give somebody an inch, they take them out, because why can't we go back to normalcy or how we've been doing things for eons? We knew that COVID was a crazy circumstances. So that's why we allowed y'all to be able to do the mail-in voting and take so long to count and tally your votes. But they already said if Trump wins, so y'all better be protected and be safe out here, that there's going to be a lot of militia groups. Antifa going to pop their ugly heads back out here and do a lot of weird stuff and cause a lot of riots. They already said it's going to be mayhem out here. And like I said, if y'all look at what they just said about the infrastructure, the Inflation Reduction Act, they was talking about all of the terrorist groups that are getting funded, 100 million, 20 million, 10 million, 50 million, all of these groups that's in there that's getting funded. It is scary time. Scary, scary times. They passed gay marriage, but they can't legalize weed. Crazy. That's why they need to get out of the office. Look, I'm not okay with gay marriage. Honestly, I'm more centrist. I'm going to be honest with you. I honestly don't care if people want to be gay. This is my belief. I don't care if people want to be gay. But don't call it marriage, because people for the longest looked at marriage as a man and a wife. You call it a gay union. You could call it whatever the hell you want to call it, but don't call it gay marriage. You can call it a gay. You can do whatever you want to. You can have all the legalities that come with it, filing a tax, anything you wanted to do with it. I don't care. I don't like it when it's pushed down our face, because the gay population is so small. But every show, we got a gay person on that show. Artist, somebody's gay. Or even what's the girl that go with MGK? Don't she got like 3 trans kids? Like, the odds of that is astronomical to have 3 trans kids. It's not that many trans people, but I'm trying to figure out who gave these people in this community the bullhorn that we got to listen to their complaints or what their issues are. To be honest, when I grew up, we just ignored crazy people. Now they have to be seen. I don't know what state you are in, but other states to vote include senators and representatives. If you like what Trump stands for, then he needs Congress and Senate to help the cause. Agree with you what you said about using a different name for a gay marriage. Yeah, I don't really care. People want to be together, you know. I personally don't see an issue with it. Like, I don't want to say this, but love who you love. I don't think love is love, but love who you love. If you get your rocks off by, you know, being a turd chaser or a cootie pop, carpet muncher, cool. Perfectly fine with me. I don't care. I don't give a damn. Do what you do. But I'm going to say this. I'm more centrist. Like, I think if you want to be trans, be trans. Just quit pushing it down our throats. No pun intended. Just quit doing that. Like, it's a lot of stuff that I'm okay with, but when it's like the forefront, it was a point in time in life where we heard of like the underworld or the underbelly of society, where we had all these trans and transitioning stuff and gay stuff used to just stay in the underworld, and you had to go like secret dungeons, and it was all mysterious, where you go through an alley and you knock on the door 3 times and a man comes through a peephole and slides and say, "What's the password?" And you say, "Shakaluka," and then he said, "Oh, you know the big man." And he lets you in, and then it's this big room of, you know, dildos, sex contraptions, people flying from the ceiling, and just a whole bunch of wild, crazy sexual escapades. So like that was there in this room for this moment in time, and people went back to their normal lives after they finished. Now they're trying to make what wasn't normal the new normal, which is crazy to say. Thank y'all for that super chat. Forsaken. I'm really touched right now. I'm about to shed a tear. Fact: Governor Tim allowed Minneapolis to burn for days during the Summer of Love riots in 2020, while the MRS opened the window to enjoy the air aroma. Got married on the anniversary of Tiananmen Square. Miss Lee, I get that. Sounds like it's the best you can do in Illinois. I'm doing the same thing, except for one judge race. The Date Master. Hey, y'all make sure y'all go and check out the Date Master on YouTube. That's my boy. We be doing the panels on Tuesday nights at 7:30. We do panels. We talk about relationships at 7:30 on Tuesday nights. I think we're going to do every Tuesday night. And every other Wednesday, we're going to do panels, and we talk about relationships typically on those nights. I wish that was true here in Illinois, but it's not. I'll be voting red all down the ballot. Did y'all see? Oh, yeah, that's another thing I want to talk about. Let's see if I got that saved. Did y'all see? Because the Supreme Court probably going to have to talk about this too. That I forgot. Is it Arizona? Where if you vote down ballot, that the machines was splitting half the ballot. Like, this is confirmed by the Dominion voting machines. Like, this is actually confirmed. I'm about to play the video for y'all so y'all can see this. Like I said, they got it rigged up.
Why was that only caught in the past few days, and why can't it be fixed? I saw the release.
Yeah, this is a nation
issues with the programming of the VATs with specifically
Yes.
from Dominion. Why was that only caught in the past few days, and why can't it be fixed? I saw the release.
Yeah, this is a nationwide issue with Dominion voter access terminals in the counties that use them. And the voter access terminals, of course, not all the machines, just the ones that are accessible, have an issue with the straight party voting and a programming issue that's, again, affected the machines nationwide. And I think all of us that use Dominion machines were unhappy to learn about this during the testing period. And
now, Elon Musk said the only way you're going to get fair elections if you go back to paper ballots. There are a lot of countries that got rid of the voting machines and went back to paper ballots because they can be hacked. Like anything else that deals with a computer, they can be hacked. Now, I know Fox got sued. Giuliani got sued, and the other lawyer got sued for saying Dominion voting machines were rigged and all of this. But now we have it confirmed that if they cheat, that's why I think Trump keeps saying too big to rig. They had to pull a magic fairy wand out their ass to get this to work. Because like I said, I just look at those interviews when she's on Shannon Sharp, Kamala's on Shannon Sharp, and when Trump is on Joe Rogan, the numbers dwarf themselves in comparison.
And as early voting began, so we're working with Dominion to seek accountability on that front, and also are working with our clerks to ensure voters are aware of this programming issue that will require them to ensure they are voting every section on the ballot.
Bigger issue.
And if y'all watching, y'all make sure y'all like the video, share the video. Make sure y'all follow me on all social media platforms. And like I said, if you want to support the channel, hit that super chat or the cash out.
because we have straight party. It's not struck me as I've talked to my other colleagues in other states. They're just as upset about it as we are. So yeah, or surprised. Yeah.
So that's that. I don't care either, but I think if liberals have power, they should legalize weed. But I already voted for Trump. I'm gonna disagree. Nikki, we about to watch a Candace Owens video in a few seconds because Candace Owens is mad at Shannon Sharp because he questioned her blackness, but he didn't question Kamala's blackness. I'm gonna say this: I don't think weed should be legalized. I think we have too much stuff that's legal that's just messes with the human brain. I also think if we're gonna be honest, the Democrats talking about gun regulation or taking guns or gun buybacks, they should get rid of alcohol. Alcohol does more harm to the American people than anything else. Alcohol is worse than guns, and alcohol kill way more people. Even if it's something like a DUI or somebody getting vehicular manslaughter because you were drunk. That's why we have MAD, Mothers Against Drunk Drivers. I was watching a video last year. Young Asian guy, college student, clean cut, never had a record, out day drinking. He's at a light, pulls off from that light. There are 6 people at this bus stop waiting on the bus. He takes out and kills all 6 of these people. Life ruined forever. If we're going to do anything, they should get rid of alcohol. Now, weed may not be as bad, but I do know people, because weed slows down your reaction time. I do know people that have had wrecks while high. I just personally think they shouldn't legalize it. But at the same time, it's like so many people do it. And we have so many people going to jail for it. And we have so many people, so many states legalizing it. It's like fair to say, but then it goes back to that same idea of sending abortion back down to the states, right? Because I feel as if, and this is why I like it being in the states. What if you don't want your tax money paying for it? So you go to a certain state that aligns with you, because we know that if you are drastic and you agree with abortion, then you know a lot of other shit would be allowed in that state. So if you agree with abortion, you probably want to stay in the state, because it's probably gonna be a lot of homosexual, trans stuff, a lot of let the borders be open. You're gonna have a lot of people of like mind in these places. Whereas if you are in a red state that said we don't agree in abortion, you know it's gonna be more family oriented. People gonna probably go to church more, believe in religion more, gonna be more community oriented. So like, I think it's good to have it go back to states. That way you can dictate where you want to stay at, how liberal you want to be, how conservative you want to be, the principles and values of that state. Or you want to be loose and wild, you can go, like you said, you can go to California, New York, you can do what you want to do. You come down south, it's a little different. You might want to raise a family down here. You might want to be young and free in California, New York. When you get ready to have a family, you might want to move down here, because, you know, raising a family is different. And they have already put out reports that most people, when they get older, have a family and have children, they become more conservative by nature. Because when you're raising children, you know, all the wild, freaky stuff you used to do, you don't want your children doing the same thing. You don't want your children to be out there drunk. You don't want those, y'all know the stories that you share with your friend, the near-death experience. Hey, man, you remember we was drunk? I don't know how we made it home. Yeah, you remember we almost hit that deer because you was, you know, those stories. You don't want your children to do that. You try to raise them up in the best environment possible, even though, you know, they're going to have to bump their head along the way, but put them in an environment that's conducive for how you want to raise them is important. So when you talk about the weed stuff, even though so many people are doing it, I do think there should be states that legalize it and then states that don't. Also, people don't know this. States that legalize marijuana, a lot of insurances go up because weed is legal. Like your auto insurance, if you look it up, states that has legal marijuana, the states, those states have higher auto insurance. I don't understand what they are saying about the voting machine. If you vote all the same party, your ballot is invalid. No, what they saying, if you vote straight party, that is taking half of the people that you voted for and keeping it and switching half of the people to the blue side. So let's say you go all Republican. That, like, let's say it might say half of the bottom half of it, like the 6 other people that you voted for might say Democrat. But you voted all the way down Republican, but what it registers, half of a Republican, half of a Democrat. Or they say, I don't know if it's just for the Republican side or the Democratic side. See, that's the thing they need to tell us. Like, is that for all the people that vote straight Republican or all the people that vote straight Democrat? Or is it for both sides that it's doing, like, it's switching the votes if you vote down ballot? Yeah, like I said, I don't know. Like I said, my idea is different when it comes to weed. People can make cases for it. I do know that, like, people that have mental illness, weed is not going to help that. That's going to be a bigger problem. I know a lot of people say they need some of that fuck it in their system when they smoke, but I don't think that's going to help. I don't know if they're going to fix that problem. I don't know if they're working to fix that problem. I just see them talking about it today because it came out. But honestly, they have been talking about those machines messing up since last week, because they had a white man that came out and he said something about it and they blew him off. But now that it's been confirmed that these machines are not doing what they're supposed to do, which is crazy. So who we finna talk about now? Y'all said something about Candace Owens. This is who we about to talk about now. My girl Candace Owens. So let's play this.
Honorably mentioned Shannon Sharp. And by honorably, I don't actually mean honorably, because I am just so sick and tired of this weird double standard that seems to exist in Black media, where they really, throughout my entire career, have rejected me, not wanted to have me on. She's not Black, Candace ain't Black. But then suddenly you have a candidate, a presidential candidate, who quite literally put on political blackface. We bust her in all of these lies, and nobody keeps that same energy. Like, what kind of Blackness are they actually guarding? Is it Blackness, or is it just the Democratic Party? That's what I'm beginning to wonder. So I want to show you, when I got fired earlier this year from the
But see, this is what I want to know. Is part of your Blackness aligned with the Democratic Party? Like, if you were not Democratic, are you not Black anymore? Do they take that from you? Are you more blackety black if you vote Democratic all your life? Like, what is the criteria of your Blackness when it comes to voting? If you never been Democratic or never voted Democratic, are you like white? Are you like what's the nigga from what's the name of that dude that was in Dave Chappelle's show? He was the black racist, but he was blind. Is it Tyrone Biggums? Are you like a Tyrone Biggums? We love, Ms. Lee said we love Candace.
Daily Wire. There were so many Black hosts who were just like,
oh yeah, I'm trying to work on my profanity. I'm sorry, y'all.
Dancing on my grave, like thinking that I wouldn't be successful ever again, and making up all of these conspiracy theories.
I like that about Candace. She said they trying to dance on my grave like I would never be successful again. And it's kind of like, have y'all not known what I worked to build? You got to be insane to not think that I would be where I'm at. And honestly, the reason Candace is big as she is, because she's really the only Black woman that holds this space, very articulate, can back up what she says, accepts all challengers to her ideals and ideologies. She's decent looking. I want to say this. I'm glad they got her hair, because Candace's hair was always jacked up. I will say that. She never really kept her hair did, so now she's keeping her hair did a little bit more. But now they're like putting a lot of makeup on her. Like when I say a lot of, this is a lot of makeup on her face right now. And I think when it's more of what they call the natural beat, she's prettier to me. But right now she just looked like Fox and the Hound. Like that's what she looked like right here. Fox and the Hound, like with all that makeup on. I'm sorry, I shouldn't have said that.
And one of them was that I somehow knew I was leaving the Daily Wire. I didn't. And that was the reason I had just done Joe Budden's podcast. Like Joe Budden randomly shouted me out on his podcast. I instantly responded and he had me on. There was no move there. There was nothing being planned. And then the same thing with the Breakfast Club. Like I would have loved to do that show for years and never invited me. They just happened to invite me after I did the Joe Budden podcast. So I did 2 in a row. And then I leave the Daily Wire. And the next thing you know, they're trying to drum up some conspiracy about me, like trying to blackify myself as if I have to do that. Spoiler alert, I'm already black. I've been black every single day of my life. I have not even taken a 10-minute recess. I have not been like, let me just chill for like 5 minutes and not be black for a second. So it's so ridiculous and never warrants a response. But it does today because I wanted you to compare and contrast Shay Shay's attitude when he addresses blackness, when speaking about an actual black person, and then when speaking to a person who's just wearing blackface. So here he is. Let's jog your memories about what Shannon Sharpe had to say about me following my exit from the Daily Wire. Take a listen.
You know, when a woman starts hitting the long end words to her videos, following about me, she finna drop the bombshell. She ready to drop the bombshell when that inflection in the voice changes. You know, she got the, what they call it nowadays, the T. What the young people call it, the T.
Sometimes, and it's happened before, people in our community forget that they're black. And they try to appease a group of people that's probably never going to embrace them. And once they realize that, guess who's the first group to take them back?
I don't know her.
You know, I ain't say nobody's name, Amanda.
I literally don't know her.
You don't even know.
Now, I don't know if y'all know who this lady that Shannon Sharpe is talking to. Her name is Amanda Seales. Amanda Seales is another woman who seems to struggle with her blackness and being in these spaces. She's another woman that was on Insecure, and nobody has anything good to say about her while working with her on this show. A show full of nothing but black women. For him to have this conversation with her, and the reason that he's having this conversation with her, because it was off of the backs of something that she did or said. I think she said something about Issa Rae, if I'm not mistaken. So for him to have this conversation with her, and this is a person that struggles with her blackness and her identity and what she fits in, this is a crazy conversation and the wrong person to have it on. Now, I do know this about Shannon Sharpe. He's a passive-aggressive person. So he does little shit like this. If he doesn't like something, now he wants to have the conversation with someone else. And Candace would be more than willing to go on his podcast to have a conversation about the things that they disagree on.
Who I'm talking about?
I don't know.
How you know who I'm talking about? But we've seen this happen before. Rest his soul, O.J. Simpson. You know, he had the famous quote, "I'm O.J., I ain't black."
Nigga, y'all didn't take no O.J. Simpson back. Did niggas take O.J. Simpson back, or was they still talking about, damn, I can't believe O.J. Simpson got away with murdering 2 people, 2 white people of that? Come on now. Y'all did black people take O.J. back? Did we say, come here, O.J., let me give you a hug and pat on the back? We know you fucked up, but come on, we got you. No, that did not happen. That did not happen whatsoever. People were still shocked that OJ still was doing the same stuff that he was doing and getting away with it. Even when he tried to steal his stuff back that they sold from his house and then went to prison over stealing his own stuff. Niggas could not believe that was happening, that he was moving the way that he moved. Also, people forget OJ was beloved by a lot of people before the whole murdering thing. People love, he was acting, he was dancing, he was everywhere. He was at balls, he was throwing these big extravagant parties. Like, I don't know, like, people loved OJ. And OJ was smart to not play the black card. Same thing with Michael Jordan. Michael Jordan, they asked him about who he votes for, if he's Democratic or Republican. He said, I'm not going to speak on either one because everybody buys shoes. Why would you alienate yourself if you're selling a product or something like that? At that time, these times where people did not come out with what party that they aligned with. Today, you can make a lot of bank, a lot of moolah, aligning yourself to certain parties because now you know who's aligned with these parties and you know how to market yourself to these parties or to these people that align with these parties.
Even Michael Jackson went through what he went through, rest his soul.
Right.
Even Kanye had to be reminded. And now Miss
Kanye. Really, Kanye. Y'all mean to tell me I just still don't know nobody that just sits around and talk about Kanye like they used to talk about Kanye. Y'all took Kanye back. Put in the comment section, did black people take Kanye back? Yes or no? Did black people take O.J. Simpson back? Yes or no? I still think those people, if O.J. was still alive, he would still be an outcast because one thing I notice about black people and the black community is jealousy. Black people love when you say stuff that outrages the majority of black people. They can't wait for you to walk out with shit on your face. They can't wait to rub it in. When Kanye did that with Adidas and lost that money, niggas was happy. They didn't accept Kanye, but that's what he get. He all up on his high horse. He thought he was all that because he had money. Same talking points with OJ. It is the worst thing you can do right now is to be an everyday black person and try to align with being black because we still have not gotten a pamphlet, a handbook, a commandment, or talking points that we all supposed to be on the same accord with, that we can see from at least a 10-year to 15-year span that these talking points is fruitful for the black community. We have not gotten that. The worst thing you could do is be out here talking about you pro-black unless you are Dr. Umar, a Brother Polite, your Young Pharaoh, those type of people that scam and take money from you. Just remember that. That's the worst thing you could do is out here be all this pro-black shit. Let that shit go. Because niggas don't know if they coming or going.
Owens, I don't want no black pilots. I don't want this. I don't want that. And now we can't keep off our black media stations. When before she gave us her butt to kiss. Now, if I'm lying, if I'm speaking out of turn, people, y'all.
Now, if y'all know Candace Owens' history, that's her claim to fame. Did Candace Owens ever give her butt to kiss? And the reason I'm asking it the same way he said it is because from my understanding of Candace Owens, she was one of those people that tried to hold the black community accountable for all the shit that he was doing. I mean, all of the bad stuff that he was doing. Somebody has to be a voice and hold us accountable. And she wanted to take on that mantle to be that voice. And a woman at that, and a black woman at that, knowing the quote unquote sisterhood that a lot of black women like to talk about is based in fear. That's why so many people, especially the black women, try to bully her when she's talking about your Cardi B's and your WAP and rap music and how the women are out here dressing. She was talking about the killing that's going on in these neighborhoods and stuff like that. Why wouldn't somebody address those things and talk bad about those things? I'm confused, to say the least.
Y'all correct me, but y'all know I'm telling the truth.
No, you are literally not telling the truth. Nothing you are saying makes any sense. Again, every time I've been invited to go on a black podcast, I've gone on it. But because of people who have your attitude and decided that people that are conservative just don't deserve a platform, I don't typically get invited. Like, it happened totally organically, did not happen, had nothing to do. It happened before I left the Daily Wire. You would think he would have taken the opportunity to address Kamala Harris's genealogy, her ancestry, who actually in your family is Black. Instead, he gives her a platform. Listen to Kamala Harris here, because like I said, she's kind of doing the slow wipe here, trying to pretend like she never said she was Black, never said she was African American. And she provides an excuse for how she's not really Black, but is Black on the basis of her mother's definition of community. I know that sounds crazy because it is. Take a listen.
My mother, she understood that there is a community that she wanted her children to be raised in. And she was very intentional and purposeful about that. And
I'm gonna tell y'all something. If her mama told her that she wanted her to grow up in a community where when Tupac was making, I forgot. Tupac wasn't making music at that point in time. Maybe the Black community was all right when she was growing up, because I forgot this lady is 60 years old.
And so I always say to people, even when I took the stage as the nominee for the Democratic nomination, that, you know, there is the family that you have by birth.
Okay.
And there is also the family you have by love.
No.
And they're equally family.
Yes.
Right.
No.
And I learned that from my mother.
No.
So my mother, I had all these aunties and uncles. My Uncle Sherman, who was one of the first Black.
Forsaken said they can't take your Black card, but you still won't have skin protection, LL. But it's all about the way we carry ourselves. I agree. And if you ain't carrying yourself in a degenerate manner, twerking with your ass out and stuff like that, then it's hard for the women to relate to you. I know women who grew up in they have great family backgrounds, and they always talk about how they get around other Black women, and these Black women have these conversations, and she'll say, that's not right. And the women will look at her crazy. For instance, like becoming a baby mama. She said she told them, I don't want to be nobody's baby mama. Oh, why would I do that to myself? She said they're looking at her crazy, like she the one don't know what she's talking about. She said she told them, I listen to how y'all talk about y'all baby daddies. Why would I want to sign up to do the same thing? Same thing when you a Black man. Now you got to be a thug gangster out here, shoot 'em up, bang bang, out here like you living like you in a John Wayne movie. It's crazy that we're out here, and this is what the Black community is boiled down to now. A whole bunch of degenerate stuff where Black women are the face of killing kids, and wonder why the Black community is the slowest growing population there is.
Men to graduate from Berkeley School of Law, who, when we were young girls, sat us down and taught us how to play chess, because Uncle Sherman said, you need to understand how the chessboard works, because that's the way the world works. They're going to be different players with different moves, and you need to see the whole board. My mother raised us around, like my Auntie Chris, who went to Howard in the 50s and pledged Alpha Kappa Alpha. And she was one of my incredible role models growing up. And that was one of the big reasons I wanted to go to Howard University and pledge Alpha Kappa Alpha. Those are some of the lessons that I've learned from my mother. And I try to also share with people.
I mean, just look at him. How does that not register to Black America as an absolute fraud? Like, where is that same energy? He's like, yeah, that makes total sense. When, you know, and it's not your family, but it is your family. He's like, yeah, just lapping it up.
Hey, Shannon Sharp is what we call her. If you from the South, you know what I'm about to say. Shannon Sharp ain't nothing but a hick. This is really all it is. Nigga, you supposed to tote that motherfucking tater and got your money and moved out of the way. Mason Cameron brought OJ back, but just them. Did they really bring him back, or was that just like a viral moment? Because, you know, right when they brought him back, he was making like, he said something about, I don't feel safe because I think I'm around the person who did the murder. Like he was doing like weird shit and saying weird stuff. So you know, for shock value, them having conversations with OJ, it's just them trying to get clicks and views. It's not really like they're trying to usher him in and be like, oh, OJ need to be on the show. I think he was on there like once or twice. Then he died like shortly after that. Y'all make sure y'all like the video. Make sure y'all share the video.
Just lapping it up and accepting whatever she says. Why? Because he doesn't have an original thought in his brain, and it's been mandated to him that the definition of blackness is basically enslaving yourself to the Democratic Party, even when you have someone who is quite literally wearing blackface. And for clarity, in case you are just jumping into this series, every single person that she just named there, her auntie Chris, her uncle Fred, her aunt whatever, Shelly, none of those are her actual aunts and uncles. She admitted that in her book, if you read the fine print, that they weren't her actual aunts and uncles. But that's her experience with the Black community. And she's essentially saying to Shannon Sharpe, yeah, I'm going to keep blackfacing this because my mom told me it's cool. You're a disgrace.
And I would be upset if I was Candace Owens too. Because how you feel about me could have easily been cleared up with a conversation. Have a conversation, get to know me. And that's all. A lot of this stuff can be cleared up, and your viewpoints could have been cleared up, and how you feel about certain things with just conversation. Conversation rule the nation. But we don't want to get too close to people, or we pick sides too fast, or we trying to make money off beef, because we know, just like Love and Hip Hop, niggas love shit like Love and Hip Hop. So I'd rather beef with you instead of work with you. You want to get the clicks and the views. You want to be part of the mess. But like I said, Shannon Sharpe does this thing where now you feel a ways about Candace Owens, but you want to take this conversation up and then try to act like, oh, I'm not being messy. Like you don't have you're going to have the conversation with Amanda Seals, not mention her name. Like Candace Owens is not like a popular name. Like you and her probably didn't have a conversation before y'all got on the podcast about what y'all was going to talk about. And then now you're going to mention her name. But why didn't you just continue to have these conversations without mentioning Candace Owens' name?
For that. You really are a disgrace for your treatment of somebody who's actually black when weighed against your treatment of somebody who has been wearing political blackface simply because she wants votes from people that she perceives as stupid. And by the way, you are playing the part there, Shannon Sharpe, of being an idiot. Yeah. Oh, let's talk about Candace Owens. So Club Shay say you are Club Nay Nay in my book. You absolutely, you suck for that. But I will say to you, because I'm always open to having a conversation, I will have a conversation with you. You've never invited me. How could a person who never invited me onto their show make that statement? Is it not just absolutely ridiculous?
I agree with you, Candace Owens. It is ridiculous. It's ridiculous. Crazy. Y'all make sure y'all like the video. Make sure y'all share the video. I want to tell everybody thank y'all for rocking with me, tuning in today. It's been a good show. Hold on, I got something else. Let's see what else I got on here. How y'all feeling today? Who y'all think gonna win this election? Who y'all think gonna win this election? And they pulling out all the stops. And what I mean by that, so this girl right here, she is a popular TikToker. I don't know. I just seen her on X today. And she said she was at a Trump rally. She says after she posted a video of her at the Trump rally leaving, she gets an email. And they told her, well, you know what? Let me let her tell y'all what they told her. How about that? Let me go to where she was talking about this at. Hold on, let me find it. Let me find out. You know, I'm gonna say this to y'all. I'm on X, so I gotta be careful when I share stuff on X and make sure my screen is working properly. I'm sharing the right thing, because you know some parts of X you on there for the you know, freaky deaky stuff. You know what I mean. We all adults here. So I gotta make sure my screen is on the my sharing screen is on the right thing so y'all won't, get a glimpse at the categories I like.
I was going to keep this off the internet, but I guess I changed my mind because after seeing two other creators that I follow come forward with the same experience, I just felt like you guys deserve to know. Let me first start off with saying I do not care who you vote for. I despise posting anything political because you just can't do it anymore without people coming for you. People don't respect that everyone has different opinions and it just sucks. But I don't care who you vote for. I love you regardless. And I feel like I don't have the right to tell you how you should vote or what you should believe in. I attended the Donald Trump rally a couple days ago in Greensboro, North Carolina, and I went live at it. And it's just so coincidental that the very next day I get an email, and it is a management company that is looking for influencers to attend the Kamala Harris rally a couple days before the election. They're looking for people who can essentially say that they supported the other side.
And that lets you know how desperate they are.
And they've switched. Looking for you to post content, a certain amount of videos on TikTok, and some vlog-like stories on the other platform. They're paying all travel expenses for you and a friend and a flat rate fee. And morally, I could just never. I can never go and support someone that I, myself, cannot stand behind. For shits and giggles, my husband was like, just put a number out there that you know they would.
Oh, so she married. No wonder why she ain't on that side. Because y'all don't know if y'all noticed this. Have y'all been seeing all the women that have said they're going to divorce their husbands if they don't vote for Kamala, which is crazy.
Never accept. Y'all. I straight up replied and I said, for this type of collaboration, and I can put the email at the end of this video. I said, for this type of collaboration, it would require for all my expenses to be paid for travel for me and a friend, obviously, food, hotel, travel, plus $50,000. And it was obviously a joke because who the hell would pay me $50,000 to attend a rally? But I was sadly mistaken when I got a response. It said, that sounds great. I'm sorry. Y'all do know that part of North Carolina just got washed away and they have no homes? And not to mention, people are dying in other places. And you're going to pay me $50,000 to attend a rally for you?
That's how bad it is out here for Kamala. Everybody know that ain't nobody voting for her. Like I said, it's hard to watch her. The word salad that she says, her being, you could tell she's a drunk. And the reason I know she's a drunk, my granddaddy was a drunk. I'm just gonna keep it real with y'all. My granddaddy was a drunk, and I know the signs of a drunk. The reason she didn't age so quick, because every night she get lost in the bottle. She when she's off the campaign trail, she go home and get lost in the bottle. She get belligerently drunk. She probably go home and fight Doug, because y'all know Doug, he a woman beater. I don't know if y'all seen the reports of that. He like to, black a bitch eye every now and then. So she probably go home and fight him. And he probably grab her by her neck and shake her. Like, just like if somebody pinch your ear, he just grab her neck and just shake her. Get her in line and shit.
And promote you on TikTok? My blood was boiling. And I know some of y'all are going to say, y'all, you're crazy. You should have done it. You should have done it. You should have done it. $50,000 is a lot of money to me. Don't get me wrong. But it just doesn't sit right with me. And I don't like it. I'm no longer going to keep quiet about how I feel and what I believe. And if that causes some of you to dislike me and unfollow me, then I'm so sorry. I respect you and I love you anyways. The amount of people that I follow that despise Donald Trump, but guess what? I just keep scrolling. Because guess what? I still love their content. And I respect you because you're allowed to feel how you want to feel.
The people that's on the right allow people to have their thoughts and their point of view, but the people on the left try to censor you and counsel you and tell you can't say certain things. Like, they really are the speech police. We really living in a time where We come from the era of like shock jocks, where people would say the most wild and outlandish things to get a rise out of you. Y'all remember when Don Iman said the Rutgers basketball team like a bunch of nappy-headed hoes? Was he wrong for saying it? Yeah, from a white man, you can't say that. You know you can't say that. But did they look like that? They did look like that. There was none of them was cute, and their hair was nappy. And I think that's why when you see women's basketball like this year, when the girls' wigs is falling off, they go down to the floor and try to put the wig back on for anybody that knows that's not your real hair.
Some people aren't that mature, and that's okay. Just had to tell you guys that because all of these celebrities and people that you see at these rallies secretly voting for the other side, but to your face. That's all I'm gonna say. Whether you're red or blue or you're indecisive, you need to go out and vote. I don't care what side you're on, but this is.
So I'm gonna ask y'all, and I'm gonna tell y'all after y'all put in the conversation. Put a 1 in the chat if you would have took the $50,000, and put a 2 in the chat if you wouldn't have took the $50,000. Put a 1 in the chat if you would have took the $50,000. Put a 2 in the chat if you wouldn't have took the $50,000. I need to know.
Election is important, and you need to go out and vote. And if you don't go out and vote because you just don't know what to do, then you're essentially giving the vote to the other side that you don't agree with the most. I tell all of my friends, choose your shitty. Because at the end of the day, we may have 2 shitty candidates. It doesn't matter. Choose your shitty. Oh yeah, I almost forgot. Just pause to read. Have a good night.
Man, that's crazy. I just want to know would y'all have taken the money. Because I ain't gonna lie to y'all. I ain't gonna hold you. Nikki said too. She ain't taking the money. I ain't gonna hold you, y'all. I would have probably took the money. I wouldn't have did the promo, but I probably would have took the money. And the reason I would have did it, because I feel like those people are unscrupulous type of people anyway. And so if you're gonna do some underhanded shit, why can't I? She do look like a drunk. I'm surprised she didn't drink on Shannon Sharp. Well, she, if y'all watch Saturday Night Live, she, they making jokes about her being a drunk. So she not gonna feed into that stereotype and have that drink on Shannon Sharp, because that's be very bad publicity. Because when he had gave her the drink, she said, "I'm not gonna drink this because if I drink this, I'm gonna want to go to sleep or something like that." I ain't gonna lie, I would have took the money, but I wanted the content. I ain't gonna lie to you. I can't be out here supporting Kamala. I just, like I said, morally as a black man, I understand what the black community is going against, and them effeminizing black men and putting us in dresses and all this weirdo stuff, and I just couldn't do it. I want to be the voice of the people. I want to make sure that y'all know I'm always on the up and up. That's why I told y'all right straight up, I would have took the money. That right there, $50,000 for that's okay. For in my book. I ain't saying you got to do the content, but for anything else that involves sex, I ain't there. I ain't at Diddy parties. I ain't doing no weird stuff. None of that. I drive a 1995 Buick LeSabre and a 1987 Chevy Short Bed. All I need is a fishing pole and some water. I don't need much. My soul can't be bought. But see, I'm not gonna. I'm gonna take the money. You think my soul gonna be bought? Now y'all finna make me feel bad. So my soul gonna be. They gonna take my soul if I take that money. Nah, I can't take it. Nikki said I can't take it, so I ain't gonna take it. I changed my mind. Y'all holding me to a higher standard, like we should do, everybody. So I ain't gonna take the money since y'all holding me to a higher standard right now. The last thing we're gonna talk about is I must have uploaded the same thumbnail twice. We're gonna talk about first time voters. Well, no, I meant cause Kamala, she's evil LL. Don't feel bad, babe. I feel bad now. I feel like I don't know if I can even just live with myself anymore. I'm gonna go get drunk like Kamala. So we're gonna talk about first time voters, right? So I've been seeing a lot of people first time voting. Like I said, people that look like my age or older that have never voted before, but now they're
in my life.
They're voting. And the reason we're gonna talk about this because I got two stories about first time voting that I think is odd. One of them is odd, and it seemed like she lying. And this one, it just seemed like I'm wondering why people have a fire lit up under their ass to get out and vote. I got to get out and vote now because Forsaken made sure I got the gas money to get there. He sent me $49.99, so I know I got to go and vote. I'm gonna stand in the line, and then I'm gonna vote, and then if I can write Forsaken name, and then I'm gonna write it in one of the spots. I'm gonna write you in. You're gonna probably your first time ever somebody voting for you.
Okay, so I just voted for the first time in my life. Woo! And I felt so silly going in there, not ever voting.
Hey, Forsaken, you seen that? You seen how she did with that sticker? I'm gonna come on the screen. I'm gonna do exactly what she did. After I vote, woo! Woo! I'm ready.
For the first time in my life. Woo! And I felt so silly.
Woo! Yeah, I gotta get my white girl. Woo! You want a Bud Light? Woo!
Silly going in there, not ever voting prior to today. Every single person that happened to be in the same room as me today at this specific time was registering to vote for the first time. And everyone was a full grown adult. One was a middle-aged man with his kid, and he walked in there proud and was like, I've never voted before, but I'm voting right now. And me and the three girls were like, we looked up because the three of us had just been voting for the first time in our lives as well. And I was like, wow, I'm not the only one. It's because this election is so important. And I'm not super political, but I am because things matter right now. And everyone in there was wearing red with pride. I'm like, damn, I should have done that. I feel like an American today. I feel proud to have voted. I don't feel silly. Your vote matters. Let's make America healthy again. I saw a video yesterday where this guy was like, I'm not super political, but there's two options here. You either have Trump, and you may get offended by a couple things throughout his presidency.
You know what's crazy? They really have did a number on this when it comes to speech, to where people get offended by the little shit that he says. And a lot of the stuff that he says is pretty much factual, like Haiti, a shithole country. It is. Or the comedian or whatever they're talking about Puerto Rico's a pile of trash or garbage or whatever he said. It is. It's not like it's an outlandish thing to say. It's not a racist thing to say. If I can look at something and you can look at something, you can say it, but I can't. But we both see some motherfucking paper on the ground. If I say, oh, it's some paper on the ground, it's kind of dirty. I'm racist, but you can say, oh, it's some paper on the ground. And you're a political activist now because you share the same race of the people and you're gonna go pick the paper up now. It's weird.
Or you have the other one, and we're gonna be living in North Korea. Your choice. And I was like, yeah, I'm not trying to live in a shithole. It is not too late to vote. The first question I asked the ladies outside of my local voting area, first question I asked them was, hey, is it too late to register? I've never voted before in my life. And they were like, no, head on in there. You got this.
And you know, I'm gonna say something. Voting, the first time I voted, I remember it's a weird feeling because there's so many people standing in line, and it's like you don't know what you're gonna get when you go in there. Y'all ever been to like a haunted house before? And you know the line before you go in the haunted house, the doors either shut, or if it's like at a warehouse, it's like you could look in there, but you can't see anything because it's pitch black, and you're kind of nervous because you don't know what you're gonna get. It kind of feels like walking into a haunted house almost when you get ready to vote. Like, I don't know what I'm gonna get. I don't know what's gonna be on the paper. I hope they don't ask me too many questions because I want, if it's a quick test on here, I want to make sure I pass it. Like, I don't know what's going on. I don't know who to vote for. Hey, I came here to vote for the president. Who are these other nigga names is? I didn't even know these was on the ballot. Like, nobody told me any of these things that was going on. So when I went there and voted for Obama, I just hit Obama, and that was it. Because I didn't know anything else that was going on. And like I said, I was only voting for identity politics because he was supposed to be a black man, and I wanted to see a black man do black things, but he didn't even have the black experience. His mama was white. His girlfriends was white before he got with Michelle. And let's be real, the only reason he got with Michelle because politically it makes more sense for a black man to be with a black woman to get the black woman votes. Because if he was a black man with a white woman, he would not be considered black. Black woman would want to take his black card. And then if the black woman don't vote for you, the black men are going to follow suit. So him politically, the only way he was going to win presidency, he had to be with a black woman because black women hate white women. Say it again. Black women hate white women. But on the other hand, we got Kamala supposed to be black with a white man, and that's okay. Nobody says anything about it. Nobody trying to take her black card. Her white man is cool. And the thing is, black women put white men above black men. So it is okay for Kamala to be with a white man because they love the pink lipstick.
Educate yourselves on the importance of having Trump in the seat. Go vote. Go vote.
I agree. Go vote. Go vote. Go vote. If you feel as if you need to vote, you feel as if you're getting out doing something, and you're going to change the world with your vote, go do it. You know, even if it's just for moral support. Mr. B, I voted for Kamala Harris because Trump is one of the worst presidents of all time. Well, I see a lot of people talking about that, Mr. B. If Trump gets back in office, it's really a game over for our republic. But he was like, when y'all say this, like he was already president 4 years. And y'all gotta remember this too. Y'all know the last 12 out of 16 years have been Democratic ran. The last 12 out of 16 years have been Democratic ran. So the economy and all this looks shitty in America. Most of the time there's people been in office have been Democrats. The last 12 or 16, that is a fact. You got Obama for 8, and then you had Joe Biden for 4. So, and then you got Trump in the middle. And from what Obama just got on there on the pivot and said, well, when Trump got into office, he operated 2 years under my policy. So if you take that into account, really, we talking about the last 14 of the last 16 years have been Democratic ran. When he was president, he had people around him who were competent, who controlled him. This time around, he would have sycophants around him. And yes, men, that's a big difference. Oh, my God. I'm sorry, he's a simp. Look, we've been voting Democratic for 60 years. If we did with the Republicans, we'll all be millionaires. I agree. As a black man, you can't even, as a black man at this point in time, when Lyndon B. Johnson said, I'm gonna have these niggers, that's what he said, these niggers voting Democratic for 200 years if you give me these programs. And now you can't even convince a black person to think differently. You can't convince a black person to think differently. Your blackness is in question if you think you finna vote Republican. And as a black person, if y'all don't know this, black people are typically the tiebreaker in elections. They know most of the white people are going to be split. Most of the white people are going to be split, and black people are typically the tiebreaker. And that's why they so hard on the black men now. Black men, you need to vote. Black men, you need to vote. Black men, you need to vote. Whenever have you ever heard them say anything about black men, you need to vote? Black men, anything. Just think about that. We got BET has a Black Man Summit right now, hosted by the most pandering Black men of all times. These are not masculine Black men. These are not Black men that you will look up to. These are not role model Black men. These are not Black men that has done anything in the community that we could just look at and see. But election time, they want to hop on this bandwagon. And that's why I say a lot of these Black men are paid opposition. I'm going to tell y'all something too. When Donald Trump was on Joe Rogan's podcast, he talked about the JFK file, right? He said, do you know it's a Martin Luther King file too? I wouldn't doubt that Martin Luther King was paid by the government to put us in the position that we're in now. And I'm going to say this. I don't think any Black person in their right mind would push integration. Because you know why I say that? Black people and people in general naturally segregate themselves. I'm going to say that again. People naturally segregate themselves. When white people stayed in the city and niggas moved to the city, they call it white flight. They left. They went and wanted to be in communities around other white people. That's why a lot of your big major cities is where most of the Black people are. I don't know if y'all know the history of like Martin Luther King and Malcolm X, but both of them were Republican. I know who Cornel West is. Nobody would ever take Cornel West serious. I'm going to say that again. Malcolm X and Martin Luther King were Republican. And Malcolm X always used to talk about the white liberal. And I talked about the white liberal yesterday. How the white liberal always try to seem like Black people are too stupid to help themselves. That's why the white liberals are always out here trying to pat you on the back and say, it's okay, nigger. We know you can't do it. That's why testing is racist. We know you can't do this. It's all right. We'll just make a new test for you. A little bit easier. I know why you aren't voting. A lack of objective information or IQ. Otherwise, it's a no-brainer. If you'll forgive the term Trump with the hedge being that he's not merely controlled opposition. Trump with the hedge being with no controlled opposition. I'm going to say this. The Republicans of the 1960s were way more liberal than the Republicans of today. I don't know about that one. Democrats were more racist in the 1960s. Trump is the swamp. He's a billionaire who has never wiped his own butt. I don't know if he's a swamp. I know he's never been a politician. And to be honest, this is what I look at when it comes to Trump. Like they talk about him having his own money, and that's what let me see this name is. Sir Rum is talking about him not being controlled opposition because he has his own money. It would just be weird for me to be an 80-year-old man to just want to deal with the fucking stress of being president. Where everybody loved you, all the rappers loved you. Everybody just wanted to be Donald Trump. They wanted to stay in the Trump Tower. It's a weird idea to just want to be president at 80 years old. 70 years old. Like that's a weird thing that you never been in politics your whole life. And you was a Democrat for a majority of your life until you said it up until the 90s. But you got to think about this, Mr. Beat. Before he ran 4 years before this, was president, where there was no allegation or prison time looming over his head. That is what I'm telling you. Y'all always skip over the point that this man was already president. So what I'm talking about is not this presidency he's running for, the one in 2016. I don't understand why Donald Trump in 2016 would just want to run to be president and have to deal with the stress of it. And if y'all notice, honestly, Donald Trump is probably the only person that has been in that White House and come out of the White House and doing it, still running, and don't look like he's aged a bit. He like the same way he looked in 2016 to now. Trump is running to stay out of prison. And the liberals are more conservative today with Me Too movement and censorship. He went to China 30 times. He is CCP property. Who China see? Did you know that her vice president had an affair with the daughter of the CCP dignitary? No, I did not know that. Because it ain't working. He's lazy. Lazy people don't. Man, if you don't get the hell out of here with that, like, if we're going to have a conversation, let's have a real conversation. You just can't be talking about this man lazy and lazy people don't age. That don't even make sense. He old already, and this man is doing, you mean to tell me a 70, 80-year-old man is doing a rally every night, getting on planes, getting off of planes? That don't even make sense. Just him at that age getting on and off of planes, driving around, having to speak for hours on end, doing Joe Rogan for 3 hours. That is not an easy feat. I struggle coming here in my own home to do a podcast. This is a struggle for me. I can only imagine what Trump is doing, and I'm 36 years old. She was not raised middle class, even though it's her favorite line. And Walsh keeps invoking his football coach background, but it's clear his lack of even the basic nomenclature hasn't coached. Yeah, I'm gonna say this. I don't know. Y'all make sure y'all vote. Just make sure y'all vote for who you feel is a good candidate. I personally don't believe that Trump is going to be a dictatorship. I don't believe that it's going to be any different. I do know what I see, though, with these last 4 terms. I do know y'all can praise Trump all you want to. He doesn't care about you. He never cared about you. I'm sorry. These are politicians we're talking about at this time. None of them care about us. If you can get in a position that's typically a lifelong positions, why would you care if you can line your pockets? Why does a Nancy Pelosi and all of these people on that side and that side line their pockets with insider trading, which is illegal, which is that they're not supposed to do? But all of a sudden, they pass a bill on EVs, and she goes and buy her husband invest in some batteries that they're going to use in the EVs, and the stock skyrockets. People actually watches what Nancy Pelosi's husband does when it comes to his trades to trade the same way as him. They said it is damn near impossible to make trades the way that Nancy Pelosi and her husband does. They don't give a fuck. Most of the politicians are there to line their pockets. Nobody's sitting here saying Kamala cares, Trump cares. It's just what you decide to pick. It's really just shooting in the fucking dark. I don't want Harris to be the first female president, and I don't want Trump era to end with him being put on trial for trying to illegally overturn an election. We would all look shameful. I wouldn't. How do you know? You don't even know this man, and you telling me he cared, but you could tell me Trump don't care. But I do know what they is doing. I can tell y'all this right now. Y'all make sure y'all like my video. I can tell y'all this right now. Yeah, Martha Stewart was arrested for insider trading. Please do not do this for content and views. Use your mind. and write ABD and vote. I guess. And I'm gonna tell y'all what I do see. I do see the motherfucking illegals coming across that border and taking over apartment complexes and raping and killing little girls. I do know I see that. And that was under the Biden administration. And if y'all come on here talking about Trump said don't pass the bill, you mean to tell me when the House and the Senate is Democratic ran, when Kamala Harris has broken 6 tiebreakers in the Senate, 6, she was the deciding vote, when people was mad about when people were mad about the immigration, and you got all these black people in Chicago with their Trump shirts on because immigration was so bad, and you had these Democratic mayors that don't want to pass laws or making them sanctuary cities. Well, you got people like Brandon Johnson say he was not going to raise taxes, but there are $1 billion in the hole because of the migrant crisis, and now they're going to raise taxes again in Chicago. That's the Democrats for you. This man campaign, they are actually showing videos of this man saying they're not raising taxes, and now he's saying he's raising taxes because there are $1 billion in the whole of Chicago. That's a Democrat. Because y'all talking points that I keep seeing, oh my God, Trump was the one that said don't pass the bill. When y'all was saying that, I had to go research because I'm thinking Trump was like on his way out the office. And he said, yeah, we gonna wait and I'm gonna run on this. No, this is 2021, 2022. Democrats already in the office. Joe Biden already the president. Come on now. Elect Trump and taxes will go up. Look at, I'm convinced most people don't know how terrorists work. I'm convinced of it. Because if y'all look at other countries, how other countries get rich, they use terrorists. That's a fact. I don't understand why y'all think people should just be able to come in here and use America and get money out of America like that. Now, do I think manufacturing is going to come back? No, I don't think manufacturing is going to come back to America. The companies that's gone, they gone. But I do think we can keep companies here that's in America. Kennedy was compromised, but he still tried to help America. That's another reason. I ain't gonna lie. That's probably one of my sole reasons if I'm gonna vote for Trump too, is the Kennedy. I want him to release the Kennedy files, but he said he didn't want to release it the first time because of some people are still alive that had something to do with that. Manufacturing has not came back. I just watched Stellantis talking about they might be about to go out of business. What are you talking about? On TikTok, I follow a lot of car guys. On Stellantis is literally talking about selling off brands. People are laying off like crazy. 6,000 here, 10,000 here. Like, where are you seeing this manufacturing at? We need the men to vote who tend to vote for Trump, by the way. Men, go vote MAGA. Vote for the not even remotely resembling Nazi party, Nazi Trump. Men aren't voting, some poster saying. Men, I think men are voting. Now, when I see these videos that's in the line, I see a lot of men voting. That's why you got Michelle Obama out here telling people to vote opposite of their husband because they know married women going to typically vote in the direction of their husband. As a matter of fact, I got this last video I'm finna play, and then we'll get up out of here. Yeah, I want y'all to tell me, do y'all think this lady lying right here? Do y'all think this lady lying? Let me see if I can find the video. Oh yeah, like I said, they didn't rig the Dominion machines. They back on that. They actually got them caught. They rigged the Dominion machine, but I guess you're not gonna look that up. That's why I say they're gonna have to rig it up for Kamala because it's just not that many people gonna vote for her. How many people vote for Kamala?
this right now because
And the government will be audited too. We know where our taxes is going, and JFK is going to make us healthy again. And Trump but tariff on other countries, closed borders, tax free overtime. There's a link back into what I said. Y'all scared of fast keep running. I'm not running away. You could post a link in the chat. If it's a link, post it in the chat. Post a link in the chat. That's all you gotta do.
I'm all fired up. But this is my second time voting. I am
Y'all tell me if y'all think this woman telling the truth or is she lying about what she about to say.
still very new to this. And I just want to share my experience with you in North Carolina at my early voter station. So I pulled up and there's a couple stands outside and one of them was calling me over. It was 4 elderly men. I didn't know, again, like I've never voted here before. I'm from California, didn't know. So they're calling me over saying, "Are you here to vote?" I said, "Yeah." And they said, "Okay, right this way." So I'm standing there and they were like asking me for my ID. It seemed like I was supposed to like check in with them there. Let alone I could see the line in front of me. I just thought it was like I check in here and then I go stand in line there. So they're going through, they asked for my ID. They wanted to see if I had my voter registration card with me, which I did. I was pulling them all out and they said, okay. And they were looking at them and they were like, great. So here is your sample ballot. And all of a sudden I looked at the one man's hat and it had a Trump sign on his hat. And I'm looking at the other men's and there's no sign of trumping anywhere other than this guy's hat. And then he says, here's your sample ballot. Just make sure that you vote for everything that's circled on this ballot. And I'm looking at the ballot and every single one was the Republican candidate, including Donald Trump for president.
Do y'all believe what she just said? So you mean to tell me Jay just grabbing random people out there, pulling her up, giving her a ballot, and telling her who to vote for?
And then at the top, it said conservative sample ballot. And then it hit me. This is not where I was supposed to be. So what did I do? I immediately, took his little piece of paper, shredded it in front of their face, laughed in their face, and then said, actually.
So you just got there's just a random shred around that bitch. Okay. Cap, you can't wear Trump hats or endorse candidates. Right. We've been all seeing all of the videos of the old white men being mad they can't wear their Trump hats inside of the voting polls.
I'm not a conservative. I don't need this. Thank you. I'm a woman. I know who I'm voting for. So as I'm walking away to go stand.
This bitch said, I'm a woman. I know who I'm voting for.
In line, these men, 4 men, start harassing me, telling me I need Jesus, telling me that I won't have the right to vote in this country unless I start bearing children. And then
do y'all think that it even sound like something that some people would just randomly say to her? This story sounds so far-fetched and I couldn't believe that she would get on here and lie. And I know she's doing it for clicks and views, but damn, this is a horrible lie.
They start telling me the worst of all, I hope you bear your child, whether it's at your will or not. They start like literally yelling this at me.
I'm going to say this once again. She controlled pregnancy. So at your will or not, if you got pregnant, that was at your will. Dummy.
As I'm standing in line, no one else really even stood up for me, even though they were witnessing all of this. But when you say that, I hope you bear a child, whether it be at your will or not. You are telling me you hope I either bear a child at my will or get raped.
What? Like, are y'all listening to the same video that I'm listening to? This is crazy.
And
let me remind you, there was no Kamala Harris Democratic Party doing this. Also, tricking young new voters into voting for their candidate outside of their early voting poll location. Like, I'm sorry, that is not right.
This just sounds like one of those white women's, the Karen white women's that just want to be victims. Yeah, I know what I'm talking about. She just want to be a victim. She want to be a victim so bad. And Trump derangement helps her be a victim, especially in this hostile time of voting. Yeah, let me get on here and see if I can spark some outrage and make up these lies. Because I even seen at a San Francisco 49ers game where a little boy was wearing a Trump hat. And they was Hispanic too. That will put it out there. These were Hispanic people. And they told the little boy that he couldn't come in there with his hat on for the game.
And that should not be allowed. There should be no one out there voicing their opinion.
The Brick Lady 2.0.
Because you are manipulating and you're also harassing me. Harassing me.
Y'all make sure y'all like the video, share the video.
I just can't. I just can't. I'm at the point where if you vote for Donald Trump and you support Donald Trump, you are a terrible person. That's it. Happy voting.
People on that side are like fucking kids. Happy voting. Like did you call yourself getting us told? Happy voting. Come on now. Y'all, I've been on here an hour and 45 minutes. I want to tell y'all, thank y'all for tuning in. I'm going to tell y'all, be safe out here, especially at these voting polls. It's going to be so many people on Tuesday. Every time they talked about voting so far, it is record number of votes. Record number of votes. The 2024 election will dwarf the 2020 election. The 2024 one will dwarf the other one. Telling y'all that, like, be careful. It's going to be a lot of people out here. A lot of people are going to be enraged. A lot of people are going to, say things to you. A lot of people are going to probably push your buttons out here. A lot of people are on pins and needles and edges because eggshells. Because, like I said, I've been seeing a lot of this. Is my first time voting. I had to vote. And and I'm gonna tell y'all something. This is real talk. The Democratic Party messed up when it came to voting. And if they lose, the migrants is really what they messed up. Year two, that's when they should have put an end to all the crossing. But we know why they couldn't, because they wouldn't have had enough people in the country now. Because if y'all look at it, they're actually driving the migrants to certain polls to let them vote. Seen that on X today. The Supreme Court just ruled in Virginia that they got to purge the rolls of illegals. And we all know, because I don't know if y'all remember this, the top of this year, they was in Congress trying to get a bill passed that that required you to check ID. And they said they didn't pass it because they were already supposed to be checking ID anyway. But they don't. So I'm just letting y'all know they got it rigged up pretty good. And this is kind of why it's like disheartening that you have people out here, to me, in the circus or a movie that think that their vote is going to change something. Maybe it will, maybe it won't. But I know for a fact the only way that this is going to change and actually count for something is if we go back to paper ballots. Computers and Dominion doing all this bullshit now. It got to be back to paper ballots. Point blank, period. Once again, I'm going to tell y'all, thank y'all for tuning in. Like the video, share the video, follow me on all social media pages, especially Rumble. I'm going to start recording more on Rumble where we can talk about more real stuff. You know, you can't do certain things on YouTube. But y'all make sure y'all go follow me over there. It's the New Normal Podcast, and we gone.